What's up with the day drinkers?
You are listening to the Day Drinkers Society podcast.
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah! Oh yeah!
Cooking beer with the sun on my shades. All my friends are here with me. Come along and hear us talk and laugh a lot. It's the Day Drinkers Society.
What's up, dude? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joshua Fraser
Hey, how's it
is in
going?
the building.
Nice. This is going live. We're going live.
We're live.
Fuck it. We're gonna do it live. Let's do it now.
It's fine. So, basically, what we're gonna do is drink 6 beers. You don't know what's in here, and we're just gonna talk bullshit.
That sounds good.
But I'm gonna let you pick.
Yeah.
Since you don't know what's in there, you get to pick the random beers.
I'm gonna randomly select first. Went with peanut butter milk stout.
We'll try it. You're not scared of craft beer, though, right?
No, I love craft beer. All things. Always try it once. At least try something once.
Yeah, that's how you know what you like.
Yeah, of course.
So tell me about like the first time you got drunk.
First time.
Probably gave you too much, but that's all right.
Oh, high school, of course. I think it's everybody's first time. Keg party, cops raided. We ended up actually taking the keg from that party, and later on found out that the guy that owned the house actually became a really, really good friend of mine, and
Nice.
married one of my best friends. That's a good story, but yeah,
That works out.
that's another one to go down. It's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously 16, 17, get the freedom, get your first car, move around, keg party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How you got kegs at our age? I don't know.
I don't know how we did either, but we always had them.
Randomly sitting outside of a Tom Thumb, like, hey,
Yeah.
you grab me some beer. You never know,
So he's somebody's older brother, older cousin, something like that.
I had older brother's ID. So
Yeah.
that helped out. that helped us out a lot.
All right. Well, cheers. Let's try this one.
All
this
right.
is Left Hand Brewing Peanut Butter. What? Milk Stout?
Yeah. You got to drink it with your left hand, though.
Yeah. It's not terrible. I've had worse stouts.
It's not bad. I mean, it's like a Reese's. I mean,
Yeah,
you definitely get the bitter, like it's bitter, but then that peanut butter flavor kind of sweetens it down.
Kind of sucks that was on top because I've been usually starting with light beers and then working our way gradually to the dark beers.
You just
but
told me to choose. I
starting with the
blindly chose.
I should have set it up where,
Go big. Let's do big
where that one
first.
was on the bottom.
Yeah,
My bad. We'll get better at this
you
eventually.
should have known the way I would select it. I always go big first.
It's pretty good though.
So when's the first time for you? Does anybody ever ask you a question? Like, are you the host and you ask everybody? Nobody's ever thrown one back at you?
Well, I've already told it on the first episode, so I don't want to say it every time. But
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just stealing my parents' tequila with a bunch of friends in 7th grade.
Parents never drank.
Yeah, well, they didn't really either at the time.
Yeah.
My mom never drank. My dad, he at that time in his life was like doing AA and like he was doing really well, and they just had a liquor cabinet that they weren't using, so we decided to use it.
Yeah. For me to be drinker is surprising because it wasn't something that was in my house at all.
Yeah,
There was not a drop.
your parents didn't drink at all.
Straight edge church every Sunday.
Older brothers.
They were bad influences. My parents they tried to like shelter me from my older brothers. They thought that if they took it all out of the equation, then maybe I wouldn't turn out like them. But
Yeah.
ha!
Good job, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my dad, he drinks with all of us and hangs out longer than we do. I'll go to my friend's house and he's over there drinking. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I have
He's just a big kid at heart.
yeah. I'm waiting for the day that my son is over here with you
Show up.
doing an episode. The first time he got drunk and he's like, oh yeah,
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was my dad's birthday party.
Yeah.
I don't condone it. I don't let him. But, you know, if it's one of his uncles out there kind of helping him out or, you know, I mean, it was for me. I'm not gonna, you know, get in the way of the rite of passage. Everybody's got to learn. You know?
But you got to hide it. You know, you got to go through the routine like everybody else.
Yeah, no, y'all don't hide it from me. Y'all let me know.
Or get better at hiding it. Anyways, no, that's fun stuff, man. So he's 18. He's already been mentioned on this podcast once.
Oh yeah, he's infamous, or infamous, right? Is that it?
Because if you go back and listen to Daniel's episode, we were talking about how kids these days are like really digging Deftones, and I was like, oh man, my friend's got like every damn album on there, like on his wall, hanging on his wall, like more albums than I have. Like kids love Deftones these days.
I thought I was an influence for him in music and choice, and turns out that he actually
found it himself.
Well, yeah, in a way. But then he also shows me, you know, music and slides and things that I was, hey, this is cool, but it's actually not the trendy music that's happening now. I never listened to a Tribe Called Quest when I was his age, and nothing now, but I dig it.
Yeah.
And he's really into it, and he's collecting their records. He actually has a good vinyl selection of things that I wouldn't have assumed that he would have, but I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Your birthday party, he showed me all of them, and I was like, pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive little setup.
Yeah.
So that's cool that kids are doing that these days. Do you remember the first piece of music you bought?
I remember the first music that I got that actually set my, like, I guess that music flavor, that edge for me, like what I really liked. And it was actually from my older brother. He, when I turned 16, he gave me, it was Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill,
That's
and
a good one to start with.
Pulse Boutique album, which is actually one of their
That's a good one too.
greatest albums, completely produced to the nine, like one of the best albums they ever done, but so before the time, people didn't understand what they were doing.
Was that like 85, 86?
Oh man, Paul's Boutique, man. Yeah, it had to have been
83, 84?
mid 80s to late 80s. But honestly, those two things and that edge, that punk style of the Beastie Boys hip hop, that edge spawned me into a flavor of music, and I'm still constantly like finding and listening to, like, my favorite band isn't a band that anybody would ever have heard or listened to, so I definitely dig it. And I don't think it was something that I bought, but it was something that was given to me that, like, kind of, if you hear that, you know, Eggman on that Pulse Boutique album, and you're just like, man, that's awesome. And then you deep dive and you go and you start collecting, and you realize that they were just some punk kids in Brooklyn, like just getting together and hanging out and doing music, and
3-piece punk band.
Yeah.
And then got huge with the hip hop things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love some Beastie Boys. I grew up on the Brass Monkey and, you know, Sabotage.
I still to this day, I don't know what a Brass Monkey is.
I was always told it was Spanish Fly.
In that, I don't know what that is either.
Reached in the locker and grabbed the Spanish Fly. Yeah, he says that in the song.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if that's what Brass.
We did the Brass Monkey. We did the Brass. Is that who knows? Who knows? It's
up for interpretation.
Before our time. Before our time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this. This was good. I mean, it was definitely thick, bitter.
Usually you don't start with the darker beers, but that's all right.
Sorry,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, it's my first time.
Yeah. So have you got any concerts lined up you're trying to get to?
Well, tonight.
This summer, or whatever. Like
tonight, we're gonna go see the Wee
tonight.
Beasties.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the Wee Beasties.
Yeah. Nothing coming up soon. I did get to go see a good acoustic set of Missio.
Oh, that's cool.
Missio is awesome.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Acoustic set of these guys is just phenomenal. It was at Tulips in downtown Fort Worth. Wonderful show. My girlfriend, she actually loves them. I mean, they're just awesome. And we've always tried to see this band. so many times and have missed out. Weird reasons, running late, traffic, or just something came up, and you get there and you think they're not going to be the opener.
Yeah,
you know? And they were.
They were.
You know, and
That sucks.
and you miss them, and you're just like, oh, this is crazy. Saw them at ACL and just love them, and got to see them in Tulips. But this acoustic set with this band is just amazing because their words and what they're saying is just so real to what I feel in a day-to-day life, and kind of just moving through and what you need to pick you up, and you're just kind of like, man, and then you're there, small setting. It's just like them, guitars, and they're doing it. And it was probably one of my most like grand shows to see. And I've seen a lot of music, and that's something that still hits me. And she on Spotify is like one of their like 5%ers. Yeah. You know, so there's a video of them. You know, they send you in that video, they're wearing this blue Austin City Limits trucker hat. And I wore that hat to the show, and I told him, the guy was so impressed when we met him after the show, and we were talking, and he signed the hat, and she's like, why'd you have him do that? Why'd you have him sign that hat? And I was like, because the next time we see him, I wear this, and they see it, I'm sure they gotta remember me. This the biggest small band that I've ever seen. They're awesome.
Let's get to beer number 2. All
right, you pick.
Oh, that's
well, last time I went too dark. Let's see.
I don't remember what I bought because I bought these like a week ago.
Okay.
Let's see. Texas Blonde Blood Orange IPA.
All right.
So this should definitely be lighter.
Hey, chocolate and orange actually do go together really well. It's a nice pairing, you know. A little orange peel and a dark chocolate actually rolls nice on the palate.
So when we first met and like really started talking, we started bonding over Austin City Limits. And then you told me the story of a flag.
Yeah, our totem.
You have, you take it with you.
Yeah.
So tell me more about, tell the listeners about that.
And so it's giant. It's the whole entire Zilker Park in Austin. It's huge. There's 6 stages. Bands going constantly, you know, different places. Somebody wants to go see a band. You want to go see a band or bathroom or grab something to drink, something. You get lost. Yeah. I mean, really easy. So the idea there, and I don't know if this is like at a lot of different festivals or not, but it's definitely iconic here because it's so Texas, so big, spread out.
Right.
Everybody, majority of people, they have a totem. What it is kind of any kind of landmark that you can think of. I've seen anything from inflatable dolls hanging in the air, different flags, just different things. So ours is, we call it Jill. It's a peace flag where we spray painted Jill on the flag. And we've flown it for the last probably 5 years that we've gone. Actually, since the very first time. And that starts back from a story where Brittany's at a concert. She's trying to get to the front of the stage, and she is calling out for a Jill.
Yeah.
And so these guys are like, oh, what's going on? They're like, oh, trying to find our friend Jill. So they literally help escort them almost front center of the stage.
Yeah.
And they're like, have you found your friend? And they're like, oh, we made that up. that we don't know. We don't have a friend Jill or nothing. So
perfect.
This is our beacon call, like, cause you know, we're always looking for Jill. Yeah. And so we have this, our totem. It's it's awesome. It's epic. I've done things from string LED lights up to it, to the top of it. I mean, it shines nice. And,
so if you get lost in the crowd, just look for Jill.
So yeah, but I run it up pretty much like a telescopic, or right? Is that it? Yeah. Like where it kind of folds into itself, and and we've stretched it up, and it goes about like 15 feet up in the air.
Nice.
And no matter where anybody goes, you know how to find us in the group because you can see it from from a distance, and you know where we're at, so everybody can always meet back up and always like regroup because we know where that totem is, where the flag is. But
Pretty rad, dude.
it's you see videos of this music festival, you'll constantly can see in the crowd. You see majority of people have them, and it's some of the funniest things that you can see.
See, I always noticed that, but I didn't realize that was what they were doing.
Yeah, it's your calling card. It's your group speaking. You know, you don't really do this on your own. You know, that's an adventure on its own. You know, so you don't try to get out there and go. I mean, there's got to be a group.
I've been lost so many times at concerts and just wait, randomly you'll find your friend again.
Yeah, I've had a moment, dude, where the first time we were supposed to go to ACL, she just had our daughter, and she backed out because she was not really ready to like motherly like go that time, which is respectful. It's really actually awesome, being an amazing person, like awesome. And I went on my own with her friends that never had met me or know me, like you know me, and you know like what I'm capable of and how hard it is to keep me. Anyway, like towards the end of the night, I remember it very well. It was The Weeknd, followed by it wasn't Daft Punk. Anyway, huge. It was.
Is that your Foo Fighters were there?
That was they were there, but
Not that one.
I got lost. There may or may not have been other things to contribute my ability to know what's going on, but I was lost.
You may have become abducted.
I called her, and like you always do, you always call your person, And she's like, "What are you doing? Where you at?" I was like, actually, I don't know where I'm at." So she's like, "Hold on," and next you know, there's a phone call to her friend Brett, and she's like, "Find my boyfriend now." He found me, and it turned out it was a great night.
I remember we went down to Austin for South by.
That's good. That's nice.
And day drink out like early in the morning. We started at like 10:30 in the morning.
Talking about us?
Yeah, well, we went for St. Patty's Day, South by. Dude,
is this when like we were first getting there?
Yeah,
and I'm
getting there.
I just needed a second to like regroup. Okay, I needed some food in me. We'd been going, and I know. I understand now.
Jay was getting mad at you because you were.
Dude, that was an accident.
You were just a little excited. You kicked the table. You knocked over one pitcher.
I didn't knock it over. It spilt out, and they filled that thing pretty tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
don't even remember the name of that brewery.
Yeah, that wasn't even. Y'all went to bed the next night, like at
dude, we were
10.
Cooked. We were worn out, dude.
Yeah, I got you. Who did you? You got to see Plain White Tees.
Plain White Tees.
That was
Yeah, that was awesome.
VIP access. Got into that
with Fastball.
Yeah,
who's always down in Austin.
Great friend of mine. He out there at the Parlor and Yard in Austin. That's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Parlor and Yard.
Parlor and Yard. Yeah. Still owe you a hat from there.
I know. I gotta get a hat.
Yeah.
But we spent the day on Rainy Street at that one bar. I can't even remember the name.
We were judging the bathroom. It was nice bathrooms.
Nice bathrooms.
This place has good bathrooms. Up until, what was it? Up until
it turns into a club.
9:30, 10 o'clock. It had great bathrooms, and then after that, it was trash. It was like going to like a QT and
it's so crazy.
Love Texas or something. Yeah. It wasn't the best.
What I like about them though is their merch is in a vending machine. So if you want a hat, you just buy it from the vending machine.
Yeah.
You don't have to bother the bartender.
Gotta get it. Yeah.
That's nice.
You don't want a QR code, scan, order, because by the time you get through it, you get to actually like, do I really want that? And you're like, nah, no, and then you just kind of abandon search. But when you're there, you process the vending machine, and you're like, you're there, you're getting it. There's no time to second question it.
That's what I was going to talk about. So bring it back real quick. Back to getting lost at concerts. The second time me and Tiffany went to South by, I want to say it was like 2007, and we brought some friends with us, and I got drunk and lost from them. And an hour of walking up and down 6th Street, I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? But when I saw them, I was so happy to see them, but it didn't come out as happy to see them. I was like, what the fuck have y'all been? Like, so, yeah, they got mad at me.
That's kind of your MO, though.
I was like,
that is kind of your
I was
MO.
like so happy to see them, but it came out the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. Even the cops were like, y'all need to fucking separate now. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, yes, sir.
Yeah. I've learned never feed you whiskey.
That was definitely a whiskey night too, because we had a bottle of Crown in the car, and yeah, this is the growing pains of learning that I can't do that. Yeah, actually, so we left after I found them because they were all mad at me now because I've yelled at them. I felt bad,
Yeah,
but kind of not really. And then we go back to the hotel. We're staying at a Red Roof Inn, which is like this, sketchy on the outside.
Okay, so that was obviously Red Roof Inn had to have been a motel.
Motel.
Yeah. So all the doors in a motel face outside.
So they were pissed.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we're going to keep partying. So they went down to the car, and I was like, well, you forgot your whiskey.
Yeah.
And I threw it out the window at them, and it didn't break. And I was so mad that it didn't break.
Because
they got out of the car and started mocking me. And they were like, well, we're going to drink the whiskey now. And I was like,
that's the worst when you try to make a point and like
look like a fool.
You go to slam a door, but it has some catch on it where it won't slam. It slowly, then it slowly shuts, and you're like, you want to just open it and slam it, open it and slam it just to get your point across, man. Yeah. But hey, I was just for a moment displaced for my friends, but with me, I'm never lost. I can go anywhere,
lost.
Do anything.
Way too drunk to be.
Nobody's a stranger. I can go anywhere, do anything, and lone wolf, as you would say, I can kind of just do my own thing whenever, and I'm fine. And I can go anywhere.
I was too drunk to even be social with strangers. Like I just, just out of my mind, just gone. And I don't usually drink like that. I like to maintain my coherence to a point.
Okay. So have you ever had a moment where you were like, this was too much, and you like contemplate what you're doing, and then, and then you're just like, I'm going to change everything today. This is the moment where I'm going to be a different person. I'm going to make a change.
Every time I drink whiskey. Like,
and I'm a whiskey person. I'm a whiskey person, but I don't know.
That's like, when we drink whiskey, we're shooting it. Like, you like to actually sip it on rocks and stuff.
Yeah. Texas blood.
It's different when you have like 5 or 6 shots of whiskey versus like a glass of whiskey, or a cocktail with whiskey in it.
You still, I still wouldn't give it to you.
Nah, don't do it.
I wouldn't trust it.
Don't do it.
You get that like ornery. You get ornery. I can see like
illogical.
It boils your blood.
Mad for no reason.
You get set. You get ready.
A lot of people have it. A lot of people
You're
have
like, what'd you say to me? What was that? I'm like, there's nobody next to you, Chris. No, it's okay.
Yeah. Be that old man fighting at the mirror at himself. Just running into the mirror.
What is our whole entire existence now? Like, if you haven't seen Idiocracy, please watch.
We're living it day to day.
Look at this movie and watch this movie and watch where the social. Okay, what is it? What do they call Facebook, Instagram? It's social media.
Social media.
Okay, social media, and just, I've never been a good speller, but the fact that everything that I do now literally spell checks. Like, you write a review and you're writing a review about like food that you ordered. And you're like, this was great, and it's like you misspelled great, and you're like, oh, and it spelled checks for you, and it's like in the app, and it's like, but like,
no, I'll catch my 12-year-old. She won't even type. She just talks. Hey Siri, write this, and then just like write it all out. I was like, can you just sit there and click and spell like we had to? Like, remember, like when your first cell phone probably was like the old school Nokia, right? Like you had
what was it? What do they call it? The K9 or T9? T9 predictive text.
You had to write, like, you had to hit 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, to get to a T. Yeah. Or whatever the letter was on it. It's our version of the rotary phone.
There should be a parental thing that you could put on kids' phones where they have to do that
Yeah.
for like at least a year.
But that's it. Have you ever seen or used a rotary phone? You ever looked at it? You had to like put your finger in and then roll it and then stop and then roll it. That was our generation's version of the rotary phone.
They have no idea.
That's where we had to like start. We're in a grand age though, right?
Yeah.
Because we played with like the whole like outside, summer, running around barefoot in the street, like getting it like, hey, I'm thirsty. Like, hey, can't go into the house, but there's a garden hose.
Yeah, dude.
Now garden hose have a disclaimer on them.
May cause cancer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't drink out of a garden hose these days, man.
Yeah. Well,
to be fair.
we don't even drink out of like the faucet anymore.
No, fuck that. We go buy the giant 5-gallon jugs, dude. Like, I'm not drinking tap water. It's like $2.
You could tell it was like, okay, glass of water, and you're like, yeah, and you're like, nobody goes and fills it up from the sink.
It's either the fridge or like the filtered water.
Yeah.
So beer number 3, Lagunitas Brewing Company Island Beats Tropical IPA.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay.
So that's a lot to say.
So I would say peanut butter was not the best choice to start with.
Yeah, we'll pick the best one.
Gonna move the blood and honey up to the top right now. That was good. I'm sorry, not blood and honey. Texas Blood Orange IPA. Going with another IPA.
But I saw a meme today that was like, our parents in the 90s had no idea how far we rode our bikes.
Oh man,
because we would go far.
We didn't have a way to even actually like track or know. Like my watch tells me like every step that I've done.
Right.
Or to get to a point. Have you ever, when you were like younger, like I think one of the stupidest things that I ever did when I was young was like exploring storm drains. Did you ever do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a big one down here that we used to roll around in.
Central Park area, like in Louisville. Mm-hmm. You could get into those and then you would emerge. You had to follow the
whole trail.
And then you would emerge and then you'd pop out and then literally no clue where you're at. And no tracking device, no phone. We had like the sun setting, the time is what we knew.
When the street lights came on.
And then you would realize like, you're like, oh, that's this middle school. You're like, so we got to go this way. And then eventually you get home and you're there, but yeah, no clue where we're at, what we're doing, what was happening, I mean, luckily I was like a little chubby, like, dorky kid. Nobody wanted me, I mean,
yeah, I grew up in this neighborhood.
Buck teeth, glasses.
And, there was always older skater kids hanging out down there. And they were like, if you smoked a cigarette, you're cool.
Yeah.
So then we started smoking cigarettes at like 6th grade or whatever.
You're 6.
Like,
like 6 years old. You're like, yeah.
Just to be cool with the skater kids.
Yeah, the skater guys.
And they would do like the worst graffiti you've ever seen on the walls.
Man,
it was like just not good.
I was friends with the student council kids, the band guys, the jocks, the skater guys.
So you're a chameleonaire, like me.
What is the
chameleon?
We didn't have did we have the goth time, or was that like later on? There was like
because Manson was out and Rob Zombie and I always equated the goth movement to the movie The Crow.
Oh yeah,
because
man.
The Crow came out.
He died in that movie, right?
Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Everybody started doing the black stuff at school, like all black makeup and everything at school once that movie came out.
Didn't he have a vegan brother?
A vegan brother? I don't know.
Yeah, broccoli. I got you. I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry. I know. Right. I'm sorry for that. I'm probably last time I'll ever be on a podcast is that one time I had to throw that out there.
The Brandon Lee joke. Anyways, you totally derailed my thought.
I'm sorry. Let's get back to the beer. we'll get back to the beer.
This is refreshing.
I love this brand. Or is it okay?
Lagunitas
brewery.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't say brand.
Don't say brand.
Brand
Well,
is clothing and stuff, right?
could.
But yeah, I've had them before. Island Beats, yeah. It is. It's an IPA, but it's not like there's good notes to it. Like it's you can tell there's the fruit with it. You know,
It's only
it's
5%.
tropical.
It's only 5%. So
It's weak.
So it's
It's a weak one.
it's a poolside beer.
Yeah, I started with the heavy and then went. Now we're going light. You know, but
Yeah.
let me throw you out. So you're a brewmaster in training or a self-taught brewmaster, and a lot of people they will mock like the craft brew people. You know, like they're just like, give me a good Miller, give me a good Bud Light. You know, what made you decide that you wanted to make your own beer, and what have you learned from like starting being a brewmaster?
I'm not a brewmaster because that's an official thing that I would get my ass kicked if I say I was.
Oh, really? Like
That's an
you're
actual-
wearing the wrong colors
That's
into
an
a
actual-
biker bar. You
That's
get
an actual title.
Okay.
That people take
Okay.
very serious because they earned it. I mean, you know. No, I'm a half-ass home brewer. Like,
Okay, that's
for
that's
sure.
the official title.
Yeah,
half-ass home brewer. Yeah. So not a full ass yet.
Not a full ass.
No. Okay.
No.
Haven't quit
I've
the
made a
job
full ass
yet.
out of myself with some of the brews I've presented, but
Yeah. We were at your Alabama party, and yeah, you flunked on that one.
oh man, yeah.
Man, sorry. I will always try something once, and at least try to like finish it. But yeah, you went.
Which one
AWOL
was
on
that?
one.
Which one was that?
Oh, it was some special brew you were trying to do.
I always try.
And it wouldn't tap or wouldn't take CO2 or something.
Oh, it
and
wouldn't tap because I dry hopped it
you
without
love
anything.
a good dry hop.
Without anything, so there was
Yeah.
so much hop particulate in the keg that it was clogging the whole dip tube every time we tried to pump it, and I cleared it like 5 or 6 times. I even transferred it to a different keg,
Yeah.
and it was still doing it. I was like, oh my god.
So this is all self-taught.
Yeah,
Right.
well, pretty
You're-
much, yeah,
I mean,
self-taught.
I mean, you haven't gone to a master class,
No.
or gone to a tour of a brewery and kind of had
Oh,
it
I've done
insight.
so many brew
So many-
tours. Yeah.
okay.
So many brew
Not enough
tours.
insight to really catch what's going on, though, right?
I brewed professionally once with Denton County Brewing.
Yeah,
Andrew over there, Andrew and Seth let me brew
shout out.
for one day and realized that that's not the job I want.
Yeah,
Because I say that I helped them brew. But
Yeah.
I really just helped them clean up everything.
you gotta start the guy that swabs the deck. You know, eventually he can get his way up to captain. You gotta start at the bottom.
90
Everybody's gotta start at the bottom.
Brewing is a lot like cooking, but except 90% of it is cleaning. Like,
Yeah.
you're just cleaning the whole time.
That I'd be terrible
clean,
at it.
You clean before,
Yeah.
you clean in the middle, and you clean when it's done.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, this sucks a lot.
Yeah. I am a messy chef.
So
I will destroy a kitchen. I will use a container, a new pot, a new pan.
yeah,
I will have spices everywhere. The food I produce is delicious.
Yeah.
AF, like good stuff, but I am a very messy chef, and I
well, luckily you have somebody following you around cleaning up after you. Like brewers don't have that. It's like you have to do it yourself.
So you're cleaning up. So
I tricked Tiffany into helping me one time,
yeah.
and she was like, "I'm never doing that again."
So where do you start? Like, and that's the thing. Like you take something that you do every day, or not. I mean, not every day. Every day.
We do it like every 6 months.
Okay. But like from the beginning of it, like obviously, like the main ingredient is water, right?
Water is the first thing,
Right. Okay, but
and then the grains and the hops.
Okay,
Grains and the
you boil all
malts.
this stuff first. Like, I mean, for somebody that's like thinking about brewing beer and getting into it, I mean, is it difficult to even like try?
I always thought it was difficult. That's why I never got into it. My dad always liked to brew and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's not for me. But joining the beer club with these guys, and them showing me like step by step like how to do it, it's really not hard at all.
Yeah.
It's just like cooking. Like you're just cooking. So basically, you just get your water, you put in your grains, whatever. I mean, every beer has different ingredients, so whatever. put all your grains in there. You'll do what's called a mash, where you let the grains sit. I suck at explaining it, but
Yeah.
they're basically pulling the sugars out of the grains in low temp water, like maybe like 150 to
Like
170.
a tea. You're steeping.
Yeah, you're steeping the grains. You let them sit, and then for about an hour after that, you sparge them, clean them off, add more water.
Sparging. That's a word that I don't know how to spell or have ever heard in my life. I've never heard of to sparge.
To sparge the water.
Yeah.
There's all these
Let
weird
us
terms.
let's sparge together. Like it's definitely something that some drunk person comes up and kind of makes up a word to go.
Basically, just showering.
To
your
sparge.
grains. You don't want to give them a bath. You want to give them a shower. So wash all the sugars out. Get all the sugars you can, because the sugars are what's going to be your alcohol eventually.
Okay.
So after you do that, then you boil that water without the grains for about an hour, give or take. Every recipe is different. After that hour, you cool it down as fast as you can, which is the hardest fucking part. Have you ever tried to take 5 gallons of boiling water and get it to 70 degrees as fast as you can? It takes forever.
Yeah.
There's no easy way to do it. It's everybody's fucking hated part.
Okay.
Once you do that, you can put it in a fermenter, either a glass fermenter or a metal fermenter, whatever. Plastic bucket will work. Throw in your yeast, let it sit for a week or two, and then you'll have beer.
And you just hope it turns out.
Hope it turns out. Hope nothing else gets in there. After that, you do not want oxygen to touch it, because it'll fuck it up.
So
And that's the Cliff Notes of how to brew beer.
okay. So you're
Half-ass homebrewer.
you're writing this down to like make a select beer that you brew, or you just like each time you try
can buy
something
kits.
new?
Yeah, you can buy kits.
Yeah.
They'll have all the instructions written for you.
Yeah, like your 2-alarm chili
Yeah.
kit or whatever.
So but you do want to keep notes of everything you change.
Yeah.
'Cause things will happen, and you'll have to like, oh shit, I forgot to set a timer, so now it's been in there for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're not cooking, not drunk. You're drinking while you're brewing. Like,
Yeah.
at least most home brewers do.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose track of time when you're bullshitting with your friends and stuff.
Well,
But write down everything, and just in case it comes out perfect, and you're like, how do I do that again?
so I would say that I would be your half-ass bartender,
Cabana boy.
Cabana boy. Yeah,
Cabana
thank you.
boy.
Thank you. And that's been something that has been people are like, what's a hobby? Well, like,
You're a mixologist, though.
Yeah,
You like to do that.
like right, like you have a hobby. Like people like always think of like a hobby as like you are a cyclist, or you do certain things that but I mean anything that you really like to outside of your job and your like family life, friends, something that you really like care about is a hobby.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I like go to a restaurant and I'll look at a cocktail menu and see the ingredients, and I like to recreate that drink.
Did you say you can reverse? What's the word I'm looking for? Reverse. Bring it back to life. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a fucking word for it. I can't
Deconstruct.
Deconstruct.
Yeah.
Reconstruct. Reverse. Reconstruct.
Reverse reconstruct. Wow.
I don't know.
Is that something new?
I'm so spacey brain today.
Yeah. But
You
no,
know what I'm
like,
talking about.
okay. So if
Reverse
I-
engineer.
Yeah.
So you can you get something and you're like, I
Yeah.
can figure that out, and you like
Yeah.
you're an expert at that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had here's a little shout out to a really nice place out in Denton,
We'll
Kimono
grab our
Loco.
next beer first. You go ahead.
Kimono Loco in Denton has a drink that I just fell in love with. They call it Cowboy Bebop, which is also a awesome anime that I used to watch in my younger years.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, dude. Spike. What a badass. So it's a rosemary simple syrup. And that was like so out of this. I didn't know, like, for one, like, simple syrup. You know,
Right.
like, I always bought it. You know, you go to a liquor store and you're like, oh, simple syrup, or you read on a menu, simple syrup. You're like, oh, so, I mean, it's like, how hard is this? Like, what is this? You know, and you realize it's just sugar and water, and then you just steep rosemary in it. And once I figured that out, then I like started doing all kinds of simple syrups, and I started kind of like doing my own little flair on it. And so instead of actually like copying a cocktail from a bar, I'm like, well, you know what? I know flavors. What can I do? So I was experimenting, and I like found out like thyme and raspberries, right?
Ooh, yeah.
So I did a thyme and raspberry simple syrup, and
Nice.
I mean, it was awesome. And then you do a little bit of like chili powder in there, and then like you make this margarita, and it's like wow, like, and you're like, that's store bought, I guess, restaurant quality. And I'm like, you know what? The hobby is now like become something that is now a little bit more than, because
Yeah.
you've been practicing this. Then now you know, like you said, like brewing a beer, you know, like how to layer like a cocktail to get it to like where you want it. And the cool thing about that though
It's a lot of
is
trial and error too.
that is the best thing about like trying to create or make your own cocktail is the trial and error. Because by the fourth one, I mean, they're all great.
But yours is a little more instant gratification.
Yeah.
Because with beers, you gotta let it ferment for a couple
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
And then you gotta carbonate it, and then it just gets better with time, or it doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
So that's you put a whole month into it before you even taste it,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah. So
when
that's what I'm
you-
saying, like taking
when
notes.
you fail, it sucks.
Man, that's the long game. Like, yeah, you so I mean, where are we on now?
So this is Spindletop Brewery Houston Haze IPA.
Houston, Paul Wall, baby.
7%.
Paul Wall, baby.
It looks like a 7%.
Houston, Texas, third coast. All right. Got a lot of IPAs.
Yeah, this place didn't have that great of a selection.
Where'd you go to get these at?
I went to the Goody Goody in Flower Mound. Flower Mound, Texas.
That's kind of one of those places where, oh, that's pretty hoppy, man. That's all hops, right?
It's good though. It's good.
Is that a dry hop?
I'm sure
Or
they
no?
dry hopped it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they dry hop out of
sure
that.
they did.
Yeah,
they don't tell you.
I
shit.
censored myself for the children. You know, I dry out of that.
Yeah, right. No, they don't ever tell you anything on the can, but I'm sure they did because that's fresh.
Yeah,
The wind is going.
yeah.
But yeah, I like it.
Wonderful,
It's
wonderful Texas, going from 70 to freezing in a span of like 12 hours.
Yeah.
You know, love it.
Yeah. It'd be like hot at lunch, and then it's like, what the like what is that joke? The Karate Kid. The weather in Texas is like Karate Kid. Jacket on, jacket on,
God.
jacket on, jacket
So
on.
now you did me. Like now I lost everything. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. I do like the dad jokes. I don't know if that would be a hobby. Also, you know, I mean, the only thing that sucks about it is like my memory goes like this. Hey, what's a good joke?
Yeah, me too.
Blank.
Me too.
You know.
I have nothing.
But,
I tried
yeah.
to follow up you earlier, and I was like, oh. And me and Riley were reading them out the other day
Yeah.
because they had a career day at school,
Yeah.
and she was like, "I want to be a comedian." I was like,
Oh, good job.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So she was like, "But I only know one joke." I
No.
was like, "All right, well, what's your joke?" And it was the why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh. Yeah, we know it.
Well,
Oh, why did the chicken cross the road, Chris?
to get to the loser's house.
Okay.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
Oh man. Ow.
Get it?
I'm the
Because
loser.
he went to the
Because
loser's
I'm the loser.
So
That's-
we were gonna give her. You're supposed to dress up for your future career or whatever.
Yeah.
We're just gonna give her one of those little wireless microphones that we have for
Make her look like
karaoke.
Mitch Hedberg, please. You know?
And I was like, you don't even have to get dressed to be a comedian. You just wear whatever you want. She's like, nah, I'm gonna wear these Minecraft pajamas though.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
No, she's funny. But we were trying to find her. I was like, you got to have a follow-up joke. You can't just have one joke.
Yeah.
You can't be the one joke comedian. So
Yeah.
we read for like an hour all these dad jokes, and they're getting pretty good these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember a single freaking one of them, man.
So I bought a calendar that is a dad joke calendar.
Per day, like 365.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
So at my work, we go in and we do like a production meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I will bring out the joke. Sometimes I'll open with it. Sometimes I'll close with it. And sometimes I'll kind of throw it in the middle. But I've been actually trying to take the joke and make it my own.
Yeah.
And work it into like this into the meeting and everything like that, to where it's kind of got to a point where
They expect it now.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't choose the material off the calendar. The calendar is already there. And so sometimes you'll get it and you're just like, so what was Valentine's Day? It's terrible. And once again, sorry, might be the last time I get to do a podcast with Chris, but Valentine's is why did the tomato turn red on Valentine's Day? Because he saw salad dressing.
All right.
Are they bad?
Yeah.
But the good thing about a joke though is it like you said, it breaks the concentration. It gets you out of this mundane thought, the routine thought.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks you up and that loosens you up. It's kind of like when you take like a shot, and could be a bad day at work or something's going on and somebody's like, hey, let's take a shot, or hey, grab a beer,
Yeah.
It kind of just loosens you up and kind of frees your mind, frees your soul. So comedy, like they say, is a healing substance. Like comedy, what do they say? Comedy heals the soul. Is that the right?
Laughter is the best medicine.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Super
It's Mary
califragilistic. Expialidocious.
Super hoppy, not my favorite. Actually, I actually prefer that peanut butter milk stout over that one.
So you're not a hazy guy, huh?
Okay. Explain here then. IPA, hazy IPA. I thought
hops.
hazy was just because the beer was hazy.
Yeah, just because there's more hops.
Okay, so the hops
That's
make
the basic way of saying that.
Pops. The hops make it hazy.
More hops.
Okay.
But they have done like experiments where to a certain point, no matter how many hops you put in it, it will not change its value.
One hop this time.
It will not
2
change-
hops. Slide to the left.
It will not
Slide
change
to the
value.
right. Crisscross.
That's good though. Did you finish yours?
Almost. We had like I said, we had probably one of the best generations growing up, right? We had Marky Mark. We had Crisscross.
Civilization
Right.
peaked in the 90s. Civilization peaked in the 90s.
Well, yeah, because of the dawning of the technology era.
The second MTV stopped playing music videos, and it's
God help us with
that's when
that.
the downfall of humanity started.
Yeah.
Took the music away.
And this is so bad. Like, what is it? Why is it that I would rather watch a Food Network reality show or my go-to, turn the TV on, set a timer, fall asleep, Forge and Fire?
Forged in Fire. I love that show.
If I wanted to get into something, man, I think that is
Blacksmithing.
Metalwork. That's pretty freaking sweet, man.
Let's see here.
Make a tool which you can survive with if everything goes to shit, right?
All right. I'm gonna save this one for dessert, and we'll do this
Oh,
one.
is that the pineapple, upside down pineapple?
No.
That was terrible. Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than the other ones.
Okay.
Toppling Goliath Brewing Company, Pseudo Sue Pale Ale.
Got the Raptor on it there.
Yeah.
Remember Rugrats?
Yes.
Ren and Stimpy?
What was his name? We were talking about that the other day. Damn it.
The little boy in
No,
the
the
Rugrats?
raptor. Why is it spilling all over?
His name was Raptor.
He had a name, wasn't it Ralph? Or am I making that up?
It was Raptor.
That was his name?
That was the name. It was Raptor.
We sucked then because
Yeah.
they had a whole shelf of the toys, but it only said Raptor on it.
Yeah.
Me and Tiffany were both convinced that it was Raptor Ralph.
Well, I mean,
I guess that's not his name.
to be your own.
Sue us.
Your memories are your memories. I mean, nobody's gonna stop you from what you remember. I don't know. I'm not in there.
Mandela effect, dude.
Yeah, I'm not in there. My son still to this day has a memory of when I worked for a carpet cleaning company. That the van that I drove had blue dog prints on it, and me and Brittany are constantly like, Gavin, like, never had a van that had blue part, and it's like core memory.
Yeah.
It's like something that he always kind of like goes back, and he always like, no, like I remember like, because like you'd have to come pick me up from school, and everybody's had their issues with kids, but yeah, there'd be moments I had to stop what I'm doing, like, and I could be in like Arlington and have to go and get him from school.
Yeah.
And he always remembered like when I'd pick him up and I'd be in like my work van, and he's always like, yeah, and blue dog prints on it, but it's like it's his memory, you know. So I have no idea like what he picked up or like how that's such a core memory, but he remembers it, and it makes him feel good. Like it's like kind of like he always knew that I was there when he saw that van, but also weird that never had a van that had blue dog prints on it. So I'm always kind of questioning like, what the heck?
Maybe he lives a double life and somebody
Yeah.
else in a van picked him up every day.
Like they said, like sometimes when you dream, you see your alter self in another like multiverse, you know.
Dude, I feel like
the
that's
other
true.
Chris, the Chris that went left instead of right. Like how many variations are
how many
there of your
forks-
choices?
You know how many forks in the road?
Yeah.
Everybody lives through every day.
Yeah.
Like just decision making.
Yeah. Like every footstep that you make, it brought us to the point where we're at right now. So this is where we're at. We're meant to be sipping beers, chatting on the mics, hanging out, you know. See, we're gonna go see Wee Beasties.
What time is it?
9:50.
Oh, okay. We should wrap it up after this.
All right.
And
Cool.
Head that way. But anyways, shit, what were we talking about?
Everything.
The Mandela
Life,
effect.
God, all the stuff, you know.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been it's been crazy. Podcasting is weird.
Yeah.
Because then I'll go back and watch it, and I'm like, that's not what I sound like. That's not what
Is
I
it?
do.
I don't know.
Yeah. Are those my mannerisms, really? I'm like, all right, cool. Don't feel like that.
Try not to like pay attention
dreams.
to like how I'm looking. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to like just you know.
You're gonna run out of breath. You pass out. We're sucking in so much. Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Let it out. That's who I am.
If anything, it's gonna.
This is who I am right now.
It's gonna inspire me to lose weight, so I don't look so fat on camera.
There's the effort in there. What is it? Comedian Bert Kreischer. He says,
Oh, Kreischer.
Yeah, I just
Bert
want to
Chrysler.
go. Merry Christmas. He just wants to be in a good enough shape to be able to drink to where he doesn't have any issues from the drinking. So he just defined that the balance of the things. Like I'm not one to be like to say no to a fucking cookie, man.
Yeah,
you know.
But you know,
do
you
you
work in an office, they're constantly cookies.
Yeah, but do you want to be able to eat that cookie and then live to like 67? You know, you don't want that one cookie to be the cookie that puts you down.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you gotta find a middle point in between. You know, you don't want to be taken out by the one cookie or the one extra, you know, trip back to the buffet. You know,
I always thought that like how awesome would it, okay, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
Of course,
Like, beat
man.
it
That's
and
when we
finished
grew
it?
up with it. We
You know
started
how,
the game.
You know how they roll the credits at the end? They're like,
Yeah.
you killed this many people
Yeah.
by car, this many people by guns, or all this stuff. I was like, I hope that when we die, we get our stats. Like, you had this many cookies. You had this many cigarettes. This much beer. Like
You had
whatever,
this.
like,
You had this second helping of yeah. Well, I hope not.
it's like,
Me, on the other hand, no, I don't. Like sometimes I'd rather that just not.
no, I
be,
want to
like,
know. I want to know the stats.
You were alone by yourself for this many times, and you did this when you were. I'm like, yeah, nobody needs to know about that, So that's fine. That's fine with me. I'll skip that one.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but or you made somebody's day. I would rather have
Yeah,
that. In my credits, it's like, hey,
You made your friends laugh this many times.
yeah. So yeah, and then like your point scale is like how you're getting in. It's like you ate this many cookies, but you made this many people laugh. You like cheated on your taxes, but you helped that turtle cross the road. So you're like swaying the good things and the bad
Like
things. as
sins
in
versus
credits.
like good deeds. Like, yeah. And that's how they do it. Like, you have to watch this video. They sit you into like a training room, like for a new job. You're like, all right, what are we doing here? And they roll in the TV on an old cart with a VHS, and the tube. Boop.
You know what I like about like like Star Wars or something stupid like that? It's like because they did this shit in the 70s, you had to keep the electronic setup the same. So, you're looking at these like spaceships and shit, but then like it's still like this 70s like record, you know what I mean? Like it's still this crazy stupid setup, but you had to keep it the same, they open it up and just wires all fall out, and just like old dangling sparks are flying, and you're just like, these guys are flying spaceships,
Yeah.
And they're still kind of like getting shocked on trying to like wire two things together. They're like, we need more power to the flux capacitor. So they're like, they know what wires they need to cross to get it to go.
They're all electrical engineers.
Yeah.
Even like that's their like basic knowledge.
Seen the guy that does that? He does his videos, and he's like the worst electrician, or he's like trying to teach like about electricity, but he ends up like always shocking himself or like burns himself. Okay, I'll show you off camera, but it's pretty hilarious. He's always like trying to be like a professor and explaining the ways of like how currents and how things work, and he'll like touch the ground, and like you see him just shock the hell out of himself, and you're like, that's the way we're living now as a society, like everybody like pushes the limit, and you're like, oh, let me disrespect a cop, and the next the cop's throwing you on the ground, and you're like, why is this happening? And it's like, we didn't do this, like we didn't do this to like strangers, we didn't do this to like authority, like I don't know if it's what we're supposed to have done, or if what's happening now is the right way, but like at moments in time, like you stay in your lane.
And this goes back to social media. I think people they get too comfortable being disrespectful.
There is a basis, like somebody like wrote this. It's like I mean, I'm just kind of like spitballing this too off of like a memory, but I heard this somewhere where they use like New York as an example of social media, and grand packing so many. Everybody's got to get somewhere. Everybody's got to do something. So many people on top of so many people on top of so many things.
The old hustle bustle, yeah.
To a point where everybody is stuck in this hole, and they're out on their own. And social media is that way, where there's like so many people trying to make it, so many critics, so many people out there.
Yeah.
So many viewers, The same thing with your podcast. Like you're putting it out there, and there's going to be that one guy that's never tried to experience or do what you're doing, but he's going to voice, he's going to have an opinion on this.
Well, I hope so.
You know, and it's just like, you know, take it as you want, but in the retrospect of everything, it's like, are you getting out there? Are you doing anything? Are you trying to change? Are you trying to make a difference with yourself? It's like, I wish more people, when they talk about like respect, is just thinking about like, don't F with somebody else's bubble.
Yeah.
You know, just to do it, just to kind of like, just to poke. Like, there's no reason to like let the bubbles, like, you taken like, as a kid, you've gotten the container and you pulled the little wand out and you've blown through it and you've seen like all the bubbles flat out, you know, and they float around. And there's always that one person that comes and just pops that one magnificent bubble, like the one that remember, like the double bubble where you like blow the bubble, then you blow another bubble, and you try to blow, you know what I mean? And like, there's always like the one person that comes and just pokes it.
Yeah.
Like, we need less of that. We need less of those people that just out of nowhere for no reason just like poke people's bubble, man. Like, like, why can't, like, we can't
suck, man.
Yeah.
I think it's
people don't
it's
suck.
weird though. Like, I don't know how our parents feel, but like our generation, we never got away from the high school kids because we always had social media. So we grew up with them and beyond. Like, there's still people on my Facebook today that were like in kindergarten with me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, our parents never talked to them, never seen them again.
Yeah.
Probably don't even remember their names.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we remember their names because we see them all the time.
No, but we
watch their kids grow up.
We're like we're half and half on that line though, man. Like, we're half and half on that, because yes, like, we did have those kids that we hung out with on the street corner, and then, you know, I'm an 82 guy, right? So I so remember like the first time I watched somebody plug in and like internet.
Oh,
like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Like, I do remember that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember getting a cell phone and like getting to be like, wow, like, I can call anybody. But like our children now that have phones, and it's just like, but they don't know, like, dude, we had like regular, like, we had minutes of talk time.
Yeah. Free nights and weekends.
Yeah. And then it was like a nickel a letter, or it was every text was like, was a charge, you know?
No, there's a guy on TikTok that he messes with his kid. He's like, he busts in a room. Oh my God. How many texts did you send this month? She's like, what? Like, yeah. You just $5,000?
Yeah.
She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's 5 cents every time you text.
Yeah.
It's like, freaks her out. She's like, what is it? Oh my God. All right. Anyway, sorry. Last beer.
Good rant.
Last beer from 903 Brewers in Sherman, Texas. This is Boston.
Shout out Sherman.
Boston cream pie inspired cream ale.
Okay. This is our dessert then.
6.5%.
Okay. I had a cream pie earlier today. It was a donut, but, you know, you can take that how you will, you know. Let your mind wander on that one.
Oh, yeah.
You can smell that.
Yeah.
Which that's really awesome when it comes to like sight, you know, like visually seeing something,
and I wonder
smelling something and then tasting it. All this has actually gone to the top of mine because it has all three of those. Like, this is the first one that we've had where I pouring the glass into my face, like, you can really catch like the aromatics of that.
How it would do if you were blinded and you didn't see the can first. You had no idea what it was. What would you think it was? Like, so I might try that on a podcast.
Okay, so
blind tasters.
We just like tape them all up black and not know what they are.
Not know what it is.
Yeah, and then
even I wouldn't know what it is.
Okay, we can use like painter's tape, something you can peel off easily.
Yeah,
and then
see
like
what it is.
Yeah. But then we would need like a
because I couldn't.
What is it? Science.
Like, I would not be able to.
You need to have like the setup. Like, somebody else has to stage the.
I'll get
the
Tiffany
beers.
to buy 6 random beers and tape them for me.
Yeah.
That'd be easy. But I
No,
wouldn't.
'cause-
I wouldn't have any idea what the hell this is supposed to be
Yeah.
without knowing what it
So
is.
this is something that I've come to enjoy in hanging out with you. Something that you've taught me, which is this is like an experience. This is not for everybody, that is for you. It's a fun thing to do. Going to any kind of like gathering, and getting everybody involved with it, and just like grabbing one of these like 6-packs to go. So this last weekend, Super Bowl weekend, we went to a good friend of mine, sister-in-law's house. We were charged with like co-hosting. So I did like 3 racks of ribs. You saw
them. Dude,
glorious,
they looked amazing.
dude. Glorious. Oh my God, dude. It was a bourbon, maple syrup, bourbon glaze
Yeah.
on these
looked
racks of ribs. They're amazing. I did some sausages. They were gone. Nothing left.
It was almost enough for me to get off the couch.
Almost. Almost. But okay. So I went to, I think it was like on the way there, like stopped at like a Kroger or something, right? And just, or no, Brittany went and got it before because she was like, this is such a cool thing. So she just picked a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
And
I love that it's spreading. I love that it's spreading.
And this taster is doing this. Is actually, it's just kind of a cool way to bond, to like talk, to chat about like what you like, why do you like it. And
it is easier when there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Instead of just like,
I think 5 of us did it. And there was a few people there, but like 5 of us did it. We got our red solo cups. Red solo cup.
R.I.P. Toby Keith.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
We got them. We all put our names on them, and we went throughout the whole game. So we did 3 before the first half. We did like the final 3 in the second half. Up to the end, and it was my a good friend of mine, like Courtney's husband's dad.
Really?
That was doing it with us. I've never met him before, and it was one of those where he was like, "Hey, that was cool thing that you did,
Cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that with y'all." And it was like, hey, he might do this tasters, with another group, with somebody else, whatever. Like, I don't think that I could drink 6 beers by myself. I mean, but like when you split it up and everybody does it and you talk about it, and then at the very end, when you like label out what you liked, what was your favorites, why you don't like it, it's just a cool way like where to share things that you're interested in with other people without like forcing it on somebody,
Dude, the first time we did tasters, 2002.
Oh shit!
We went
Really?
to Walmart. I mean, granted, back then
Here's my brain right now, like doing math, and I'm all like, 2002.
that was a long time ago.
That's so long ago, man. Like, wow.
But okay, so there was no craft beer. It was
22 years
We did this
ago.
with like, okay, I want to say like Foster's Australian beer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Microbrews weren't a thing.
Wasn't
like,
a thing.
big
It was
craft things
mostly
weren't.
domestics, but we tried to like get things other than Keystone Light what we were drinking back then, and our favorite one out of like 12 beers that we tried was Molson Canadian.
Never even knew it existed.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just really good beer.
What's the big one? Yinglings.
Yinglings. Yeah, we just got those in Texas though.
And that's so like overhyped. Like I was like, you gotta try this, and then you do it,
It's
and you're
just
like,
cheap beer.
It's like it's not. It's okay. I can
No,
see
it's
why like we kept it over there. Like we don't like we
Oh,
don't
man.
keep your beans in your chili.
The
Okay,
first time-
stay up there.
The first time I had it was in we went to Shreveport, Louisiana, for a brew tour, and I saw it in the stores. I was like, "What? You can get a 24-pack for $12?" Or I'm lying, like $17, something like that. But it was super cheap, right, for a case. And this is like 2019, 2018, something like that. I was like, "This is amazing! You can get 24 beers of Yingling." Like first time I ever had it, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting it."
Okay.
So we got that and loved it. And then like 2 months later, 3 months later, they were like, "We're coming to Texas." It's like, yes.
So
It's just good, cheap beer.
So I guess we gotta wrap it up. We're gonna go see the Wee Beasties.
Yes.
We're gonna go hang out. It's guys' night. You and me. You know,
Guys' night. Yeah.
guys'
these
night.
ladies-
Already checked that
suck.
one. I like that one a lot. I like a little sweetness.
So what's your top one? Let's go through them again.
Top
Peanut
though, I
butter?
mean, I do like that, and then this, and then these two down the edge, and then this one. I mean, Raptor, let's put him on the top of the three here. There you go. He's like kind of a tie in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
You concur?
I concur. Thank you so much for doing this with me, man.
Want to like throw one more thing at you
ahead.
before you close it off?
I got a whole half beer.
Talking about like how Yinglings it's we're able to get it in Texas for some reason. However, like why we're able to get it. Smokey and the Bandit. Okay.
I love that movie.
Okay. Do you know what they were they were hauling? Coors Yellow Bellies.
Original.
Coors Yellow Bellies, baby.
Oh, what was I watching?
That's what that whole entire movie
we
was
called
about a millionaire hiring a guy to smuggle a truckload of Coors Banquet to a
times were different back then.
NASCAR
You know what?
race party.
Have you watched
in Texas?
Have you watched Yellowstone at all?
Yes and no.
You know what they call them in the show? Yellow jackets.
Yellow jackets.
Not yellow bellies.
Yeah.
Yellow jackets. So I started
heard
calling them
that
that too.
The yellow jackets.
I'll switch it off back and forth.
Yellow belly, yellow jacket.
Let's go get a yellow belly or yellow jacket.
Let's finish this with some banquets tonight.
At the Rubber Gloves. I'm sure they have them.
Cheers, man.
All right, man.
I like this. This was fun. I drank mine quick. I like that a lot. I drank that fast.
All right.
Cheers.
See you next time.
If I'm allowed back, because my dad jokes are